Good afternoon, everybody. Hans, welcome. If you can hear me and hear the music, just go ahead and let me know in the chat so you know we're good to go. What is up, Gary? Welcome. Hans, welcome. Thank you very much, Margaret. Aloha, Ted. I'm gonna go get some water. I'll be right back. Hello, everybody. It's getting in here a little bit early. Welcome, Arlo. Welcome, Gary. Sunny, 50 degrees in Cedar Rapids, Iowa. Welcome, Dennis. Welcome, Jamie. Sunny, Maine, 50s. Sounds like it's nice everywhere. It's actually really nice where I'm at, too. It's probably, I want to say, like maybe low 60s and sunny. Lauren, welcome. Magnus, welcome. Is everybody off to a good Monday so far? By the way, is everybody, do you get my emails whenever I send out an email to let you know that our meeting started? Let me know in the chat. Just want to make sure that my email deliverability is still looking pretty good. Jamie says, good Monday so far. Same here. I like your attitude, Lauren. Every day above ground is a good one. Jamie gets the emails. Awesome. Ted does not get the emails. Oh no, we're 1 for 2. Magnus gets the emails. Gary gets the emails. Ted, if you may not be on the list, if you go to Alphapreneur.com and click the button that's on that page, and then it'll take you to a second page that explains Alphapreneur. And if you put in your name and email there, you'll get the emails. Margaret says they come in overnight for me. She sees them first thing in the morning. Joseph gets them consistently. That's good. Welcome, Adil. By the way, if we have anybody here that is new, go ahead and if you're not typing in the chat, go ahead and just type in new. You don't have to introduce yourself or anything if you're shy, because then we have more people watching than we do typing. So I know we've got some new people floating around. Ted says it's in my social tab. At least you're getting it. If there's a way you can make it where those emails go to your main inbox, that would be good, because then you won't miss them. Welcome, Hans. By the way, is Liz here yet? If you're here, Liz, just say hello. I wanna say something to you. Welcome, Glenn. Hans, if you have a question that's a quick one, where I don't have to share my screen, yeah, by all means. And if your question is, why is my beard not growing in right there? I don't know the answer. Welcome, Glenn. Thank you for making it. Hans, good question. Talked about 2 years worth of content on the podcast last time, all written out already. That's a ton of content. How have you gone about that process? Did you write it all out yourself? For that podcast, yes, I did. Welcome, Steve. What's the best social media platform? YouTube or Alphapreneur? Ike, welcome. Thank you for being here. All right, everybody. It looks like we are at the top of the hour. So welcome to Alphapreneur's Monday meeting. I believe this is Monday meeting number 8. Number 8. Let me check. Yep, number 8. So welcome. We're going to have a really fun day today. There's a lot of new things that I want to be sharing with you. Just things that I'm finding on the internet that I find really fascinating, and something new I'm going to be introducing and adding to Alphapreneur that nobody's expecting. So it's always a fun thing to do. It's something that just kind of fell onto my plate that I think is going to be fun to share. So I'm just going to go ahead and share it. Thank you, Luke says, loving the goatee. I wish I could actually grow facial hair right here because I think it would look cooler, but I can't yet. So I'm just letting it grow, and I just happen to have a goatee right now, but I want more stuff going on. Just can't really grow facial hair. So it's the best that I can do. Jamie says, love surprises. David says, hey, Alphapreneurs, happy Monday. It looks like David just got here. Thank you so much for making it. And I'm just going to give a few minutes for everyone to get in, because I know usually the crowd about doubles, about 10 minutes into our Monday meetings, because people might have it on their calendar. They don't get the emails from me. If you do get an email from me, and if you haven't said so already, just go ahead and let me know that you get an email from me about the reminder to join in on our Monday meetings, because I do send out an email a little bit before these just to make sure that everybody knows what is happening. So if you can all hear me and you can all see me, let's go ahead and just, I want to start things off, which I don't know if Liz is here right now, because Liz Lawless, if you're here, now go ahead and let me know in the chat if you're here, because I got something I want to share with everybody. So I'm going to give it a second to see if she is here. In the meantime, let's go ahead and jump over to my screen. And Han says, I received 2 email reminders today, one this morning and one half hour ago. Awesome. That's what I wanted to make sure of. Hustle Legend says, what's up, guys? There's Liz. Liz says, finally got in. Email, yes, but maybe a few minutes. So maybe a few minutes ago is what you're referring to, which is no problem at all. But so why I kept doing a call out to see if Liz was here. Let's all give Liz a warm round of applause she just posted a big win. So anyone that has any big wins in what you're doing in business, or maybe you had this big breakthrough in a mindset shift, or a big win with something that you learned in Alphapreneur and you applied it to your business or your life, share it in the big win section. All you do is you log into Alphapreneur, go down to the community, go to big wins, and then just do a big win post. So Liz, literally just a few minutes ago before we went live here, she said 21 books formatted, uploaded, published, and printed, and she listed all the books. I'm just going to read them out as a big shout out for Liz. She said, Happy Veggies, Healthy Eating Series of Kids Books. I can't even pronounce this. Kalinda Cauliflower, Bubba Broccoli, Chucky Carrot, Eddie Eggplant, Sammy Spinach, Tanya Tomato, and Paulina Potato. Those are awesome names, by the way. So it looks like she published 7 storybooks, 7 coloring books, and 7 ebooks, finally taking the 6-month project over the finish line. So yeehaw. So Liz, amazing job. Very, very proud of you for being able to stick through taking on such a big accomplishment, not just to get 1 book done, but to get 21 books done, formatted, uploaded, published, and printed. So that's really, really incredible. So big win for Liz. And again, for anyone else that has any big wins, I would love to start off every Monday meeting with just doing shout outs for all the big wins that are posted in here. So for those of you that don't know about this is a new section that I just added to the community. So all you have to do is go into Alphapreneur, go down to the community, click on big wins, and then you can see we just started this. So Liz was here. We had a big win a little bit ago from Erin Hack. She purchased Membership Method back in May after a few months of studying the methods from 2018, 2019, and 2020, which, by the way, all of these things she's talking about you all have access to in the courses section in Alphapreneur under Membership Method. She basically finally went live, launched her membership site, smallbusinesswise.com. It's a site targeted to small business owners to provide information, how-tos for business functions with accounting. And if anyone wants to provide feedback, it'd be much appreciated. You can see there are 16 comments there inside of Alphapreneur. So big win for Erin Hack. And anyone else that has any big wins, go ahead and post them anytime inside of Alphapreneur, and I would love to start off the Monday meetings with a big shout out to all of you. So thank you, Kat, for letting me know that you got the email. I do appreciate it. Sue, we did not change the time. We always do 2 p.m. Central for these Monday meetings. So, all right, so let's go ahead and jump into today's Monday meeting number 8. So the agenda here, it's going to actually be a pretty short meeting because it's really just sharing a lot of really cool resources with you. And the resources I want to share with you are resources that can really dramatically change your business and really open up your mind to new ideas, because I've done some surveying. You might have seen some of my emails come through about surveys not too long ago, asking about, for the podcast I'm going to be starting up here soon, what would you like to know about? And I kind of split it up a little bit. For some of the people, I asked if they wanted to hear me talk about mindset and marketing. Some people, would they want to hear, and then the marketing won that poll, like by a long shot. It was like 80% to 20% people want to hear about marketing. Then I did another poll asking if you would like to know more about marketing or more about trends and business ideas. And then it was skewed more than towards trends and business ideas. So anyway, I'm basically going to be doing a lot of talking about marketing, business ideas, and trends in Alphapreneur, because that has been just an overwhelming request that people have had. So I wanted to run some surveys just to see if you all were interested in that, and you are. So today we're going to talk about, for top trends, basically where to discover untapped business opportunities, new target markets, and investment ideas. And for this, there are currently, for those of you that may not be really into the Silicon Valley world, where there's a lot of like startup entrepreneurs and people that raise money and capital and they start these software businesses and all this stuff. There's this whole kind of underground world of these communities that where they just, all they do is talk about things that are trending, like business opportunities and new target markets and things that you can invest in for trends. And they're all over the internet. And they're really hard to find. You almost need almost like a data scientist to be able to go out there and find this kind of stuff. So really crazy story. So I'm going to switch over to my screen here. So a really crazy story. I've been obsessing over reading and discovering new trends, not for me to capitalize on for Alphapreneur, or not for me to capitalize on and abandon Alphapreneur, which I will never do, and go build another business idea like on cloud kitchens or something that's like trending. But what I like about trend, and when you discover these new trends, is to really find out, like, when there's new trends popping up and new business opportunities and target markets and investment ideas, like what are the big players, what kind of technologies are trending, what's making these trends popular, and then what kind of marketing is happening in these these worlds of these new trends, and then what kind of ideas can I take away from those to apply to my business and grow my business. So I'm not wanting to look at new trends and new ideas to start a new business. I want to look at new trends and ideas to pull from to grow my business. Does that make sense? Before I go further on this, I want to make sure that makes sense. Just let me know if it does in the comments. So just say yes, makes sense. I want to make sure we're on the same page here. And so to continue on with the story, for the last year, I've been obsessing over trends and following trends, and following different markets, and I pay a lot of money for a lot of different software and services to discover trends. Not to start a new business, but to get ideas to grow my business, which is really, if you've bought any other products or courses or anything like that, with about starting a business or growing a business or marketing, you will notice probably right out of the gate, Alphapreneur is unlike anything else that's out there on the planet, in the world. And my whole goal was to really build Alphapreneur as like my own world and our world for us to kind of live in. And that isn't some idea I just came up with out of nowhere. That was piecing together a lot of ideas from different trends that are floating around out there. So what I've been wanting to do for a long time was to have a section in Alphapreneur where every week we cover a new trend that is happening, and then take a really deep dive on that trend. Not to talk about the trend in the sense that if you want to start a business in that trend, but to talk, because that's what other people do out there that have newsletters and stuff to talk about trends. I want to talk about trends in a way where when there's something new that's trending, what kind of big takeaways can you get from that to apply to your business, to grow your business, and do it in a way that works for any business. So that being said, I've been wanting to do this for a long time because this is like what I geek out on when I'm not working, is I read up and study on trends and different reports. So my office that you see behind me, it's in a co-working facility or a co-working space in my city. And I have like a dedicated office where I have like a door and it's locked and all that stuff. But there's this part out, like when I'm not in my office, I can go out into the open section where it's open seating. It's like a different level of membership. And I always like to go out there and just talk to people. And I'm the kind of person that talks to everybody. I like to, say hi to everybody on the street. I don't judge anyone. And I like to share ideas and find out ideas that they might have. So as I was talking to just random people about a week ago in the co-working place, found this one girl that is going to college. She's actually not even from the city I'm in. She's from the city I'm in, but she goes to college in Boulder, and she's studying marketing, entrepreneurship, and data analytics. And I was like, wow, that's really cool. Like, and then I started geeking out and telling her about trend reports and like what I study and how I look at data analytics and all that. And then how I would love to have a writer that could like write these really in-depth trend reports for Alphapreneur. And she said, oh my God, I could do that. Like, I love to do that kind of stuff. And I'm like, really? Like, so she's a junior in college and she's looking for an internship. So I'm going to have her do some writing for me. And her name's Ansley. And just brought her on board. She's going to do some writing. I'm not getting rid of any of my other writers. I know one of my writers is in here and is probably sweating bullets, and you're not getting replaced. This is someone new that's actually going to be writing specifically trend reports for Alphapreneur, and she's going to be doing 1 to 2. We're starting with like 1 to 2 a week to start because she has a school schedule and all that kind of stuff. But we're working on the first report together. I'm walking her through how I want it structured and everything right now, and it's absolutely incredible. And people pay hundreds and hundreds of dollars a month to get access to this type of data that you're all going to get for free inside of Alphapreneur. So that's just in addition to Alphapreneur that you didn't know was coming. So anyway, that is something I think was just really out of the ordinary. And a big takeaway you could get from that is just talk to anybody and everybody you can, because you never know someone that's next to you, if that's someone you might be able to, bring onto your business that could work with you in some way. You could help them in some way. They could help you in some way. And I used to not be social at all when it comes to just meeting strangers, but now I love to meet anybody and everybody because everyone has a story and it's just fun to make friends anyway. So anyway, you're going to see Ansley, Arlo is one of my writers, and he says fighting stance mode. She's not going to tread on your turf, so to speak. I'm not going to have her do anything that you're doing. So completely different. So I'm going to have 2 different writers for two different things for this right now. So anyway, that is that. Frank says you can title it Trend Hacks. That's actually a really good idea. But here, let me actually just show you in Alphapreneur. So when you jump in Alphapreneur, on the left-hand side here where you see the dashboard, you see home, resources, summaries, introductions. There's going to be a section above resources called trends. I'm just going to put trends for now because I like to just keep things as simple as possible. So we're going to call it trends. And then Ansley is actually completing the first trend. We've been working on it for about a week together. She's going to be delivering the final edited version to me this evening. And tomorrow morning, first thing in the morning, I want to create this new section in Alphapreneur for everybody. And the first trend report is going to be in there tomorrow. I would say tomorrow mid-morning, definitely by lunchtime, my time. So super, super excited about that. And then she is not only going to just do a couple now, but she plans on wanting to work for me for a long time, not full time, because school and all that kind of stuff. But this is like her first job that she's ever been offered or had the chance to do that's actually applying what she's learning in school, which that makes me feel really good because I know I'm going to be able to really, help somebody out. So, and hey, we're all on the same team here. So Arlo, don't finish her because this is we're growing as a team. We're not replacing anybody. So anyway, You need to calm down, Arlo. Liz says, get a grip. All right. So anyway, yeah, super lucky gift, Jamie. Really, I'm really lucky to bump into people like that, and she's a very talented writer. Okay, so that is the first thing I want to talk about. Top trends. Now, the next thing I want to talk about is that I forgot to plug in my camera, so it's running on battery mode right now, which means I don't know how long my camera battery is going to last, and I don't want to accidentally be shut off right now. So let me, I'm going to turn on some music really quick because I need to go grab my cable. I need to get up, go around my desk, grab my cable and plug in because I'm the same cable that charges my camera, charges my headphones, and my headphones were dead earlier. So I need to plug that in. So just 1 second. I found anytime I want to play sound, I always got to go and use Epidemic Sound. Otherwise the video gets completely like, ghosted and put in this dark world on YouTube, and no one will ever be able to watch it. So let me go ahead and go to my playlist here. This was the funny song I was playing earlier. So I'll play this real quick while I'm just plugging in my camera. So just give me 1 second, okay? Okay, so that is it. My camera's actually down to 10%. So I'm glad. I was just looking at the camera and realized, oh crap, that cable's not plugged in. So it's plugged in now. All right, so let's go ahead and jump over to the next thing. By the way, on a 1 to 10 scale on excitement, for those of you that are entrepreneurs, that are in Alphapreneur, how excited are you about the new section that's going to be added to Alphapreneur called Trends? I think that's I think it's something, again, this is what I personally geek out about. And you'll see when you read these trend reports, like how cool they are and how much it's going to open your mind to a lot of new ideas that you could use to your business, but use to grow your business. And it really opens your mind in a really unique and creative way that is like a playground of new ideas that you wouldn't have ever thought to apply to anything. And these trends, you can actually use them as well to get into a completely new business if you want to do that. So anyway, thank you all. Let me take a look here real quick before we move on. Gary says 10, Ike says 10, Glenn 10 plus. Luke says, yeah, love the trends. Magnus 10, awesome. Thank you so much. Lauren says, looking forward to the new perspective. Hustle Legend says stoked. And Steve says 10. So thank you. All right, so moving on, which I love to over deliver for you guys and really just surprise you and just make Alphapreneur overall just way cooler than you ever thought it would ever be. Because I'm in here all the day and this is my business and I'm all in on this business. So I just want to keep making it cooler and cooler and cooler for all of you. Ann says 10 plus plus plus. Thank you so much. All right. So the next thing I want to talk about is, since we're on the topic of trends and new ideas and stuff, I also want to just keep going down the rabbit hole to let you into my world a little bit and let you know what a lot of people ask, like, what do I do when I don't work? Like, what kind of books do I read? Because you see, there's always, books like surrounding me because I love to read. But I try to get through like 1 book a week, which is super expensive. My wife tends to tell me, but I think it's fun. It's an investment. And so I get through a book a week, but then when I'm not reading a book, I always like to go out there and find like new trends and new startup ideas to really, again, open my mind to just like a playground of opportunities and ideas that I can apply to my business. And really it's given me the permission to look through life in a different lens and look through business in a different lens. And I want to ask all of you to be able to do the same thing, or at least work on it a little bit. Like, so even just if it's just like 1 hour a week, to give yourself permission to look at something and study something that's outside of your world. And it's really going to open your mind up to new possibilities and new things that you can do to bring into your world, but also maybe even to start up some new idea that really has you way more excited than what you're currently doing in your business. So Steve says, who would have thunk that Chris would over deliver? Thank you so much, Steve. All right, so let's talk about these startup ideas. If you go into, let's jump back over to my computer here. So if you go back over to the coaching section inside of Alphapreneur, here I'm going to close all these other things so it's easier to see. So on the left-hand menu, you go down to coaching and go to Monday meetings. And then on the Monday meetings, you see where it says number 8. You click on number 8. I'm showing you this because if you want to log into Alphapreneur, you can follow along with me on these. So if you scroll down, it says resources mentioned. These are going to be new resources that I'm giving you that I'm going to be talking about through this Monday meeting. So I'll give you a second. If you want, just go into Alphapreneur, go to coaching, go to Monday meetings, go to resources mentioned, and then these will be direct one-click links that will take you to all the places that we're talking about right now. So the first place is going to be Twitter startup ideas, because again, the next thing on this list was startup ideas, which is where to get all the best startup ideas that are being talked about on social media. Now, if you're not really into, let's say if you're not really into Twitter, I'm not either. I can't stand Twitter because it's just a lot of political stuff on there that I don't like to follow because I don't follow politics. But there is this whole subculture on Twitter of people that all they do is like talk about startup ideas and things like, you ever have that moment where you're like taking a shower and you're like, oh, I got this amazing idea, but then you don't want to tell anybody because you're afraid someone's going to steal your idea and they're going to go make $1 million and you're not, even though you probably wouldn't do anything with the idea anyway. Well, there's this whole world on Twitter where people just share all their ideas about startups, and it's all their big aha moments they have for businesses that they know they're probably not going to do. So they just share them on Twitter. So there's this place that you can go to that is, if you go to Alphapreneur and go down to resources mentioned and you go to Twitter startup ideas and click on that, it'll take you directly to what I'm about to show you. So it's called Twitter Startup Ideas, and this is a brand new newsletter that somebody has created named Wyatt Cavalier. And you can see there's only 49 subscribers, but what's really cool about this is the way that he describes it is, Steve, you're funny. Twitter is political? Yeah, who knew? So Twitter Startup Ideas, it's all the best startup ideas posted on Twitter yesterday. So what this person does is he scrolls through and grabs startup ideas that people are talking about on Twitter yesterday, and then he posts them so you can see them today. So some of these aren't quite, complete full ideas, but some of these could be huge ideas. So for instance, this one right here says startup idea, a share tweet SS to Insta story. Now I don't know too much about tweeting and like what SS even means. But it sounds like if you could have a share tweet something to an Insta story button on tweets, Instagram, have you met Twitter? I mean, apparently that could be a huge idea. So you could make a Chrome extension where people could just on Twitter, when they're on Twitter, there could be a button next to the tweet where it's like you could one click share that tweet on your Insta story. So, I mean, and you could probably get hundreds of thousands of users using that. Just so that right there, real quick, could be just a huge 6 or 7 figure idea just to put one little button next to tweets on Twitter. So anyway, you could spend hours on this thing. I'm not going to go through them all, but you can see how to make a unicorn startup idea work. So unicorn, for those of you who don't know, is like whenever you start up a business and it grows into being like $1 billion company, that would be a unicorn. Oh, I'm sorry. Quote says, SS means shared story. That's a great idea. Or that I'm glad you said that because I didn't know that. So here you can see how to make a unicorn startup idea work. Someone has a whole infographic about that. This one's talking about another startup idea, how to fund your startup idea. I'm trying to see if we can, new startup idea. It's like Instagram, but just pictures because Instagram is way more than pictures right now. Startup idea, a device which warms your quilt before bed, looking for seed investors. So HMU, hit me up. So anyway, you could go through here, but all this person does is like aggregate all the people on Twitter talking about startup ideas every single day. And if you put in your email address, if you scroll the top, you can just put in your email and he'll deliver this to you as a newsletter in your email. It doesn't cost anything, which is really cool because that's the kind of emails I like to read. I like to open up, I'm subscribed to all kinds of different newsletters and I have them all go into one folder on my computer. And then I just, whenever I have time, set aside where I've done all my stuff for the day, and I'm in like knowledge mode where I'm just absorbing really cool information. This is one of the new things I just added to my list of things that I discover new ideas with. So I just wanted to share all of that with you. I think it's a lot of fun. So you can find that again by going into Alphapreneur, go to coaching, go to Monday meetings, and then you go to Twitter Startup Ideas. So that is a new find that I wanted to share with all of you, because I know that whenever I want to make these meetings more full of resources that I can share with you, because I'm discovering new resources and new things and just stuff that I get obsessed with and geek out with all the time, like every day. So I'm going to start taking the best things that I find every week. And then on Monday, I'm going to just knock off our Mondays or hit off our Mondays by sharing all of those with you, if that's okay with all of you. So let me know if you like where this is headed. So the next thing is going to be on the agenda is going to be swipe files. So swipe files, if you don't know what a swipe file is, well, I put the little description here. So where to get inspired and learn the secret psychology of the world's top marketing promotions. But thank you, Margaret, for saying yes, that's great. Okay, so swipe files. For those of you that may or may not know, I have been doing business online for 21 years. When I say doing business, like I quit my job, dropped out of college, and I went online full time. I started off as doing like affiliate marketing and brand ambassador stuff. So that's what got my start online. But the whole journey, what I've discovered is that swipe files is close to like building a treasure chest, or having a treasure chest like just full of gold that you can just keep adding gold to for the rest of your life. So imagine, that was a really bad analogy. I couldn't think of a good analogy for that one. Let's try another one. So imagine a file cabinet, and you've got this file cabinet you bought a brand new file cabinet on Amazon, you get it, you build it, and it's empty. And when you open the file cabinet, you can obviously buy file folders where you can like put in the file cabinet. So swipe files, imagine you get this file cabinet, you build it, and it's empty. Well, every time you discover something new, this is actually a much better analogy. So every time you discover something new on the internet that is successful, so a successful marketing campaign, a successful sales page, a successful email newsletter, or a successful business startup idea, all of those, you can screenshot them, you can save the web pages and put them into all these folders that you have in your file cabinet called swipe files. Is this making sense so far? Because before I start sharing all kinds of crazy resources with you, I want to make sure that that this is making sense. Steve says, love swipe files. Liz says, I'm liking the treasure analogy. Us pirates like treasure chests. Honestly, that's why I was thinking about the pirate analogy, that's why I was thinking about treasure chests, because it really does. When you start building a huge database of swipe files, it feels like your own little treasure chest that you can just dip your hand into and grab gold out whenever you want, and then put it into the bank. And that gold is in the form of all of these different swipe files that you can collect over the internet. Liz says, yes, do it all the time. Swipe files make sense. Luke Hinson's from the UK says, yep. Magnus says, crystal clear. Ike says, I have too many of those. Sue says, yes, they're called swipe files because you swipe them from other people. Luke says, I'll buy you a bottle of whiskey for your swipe files. I have swipe files scattered all over the place. They're in Dropbox. They're in Evernote. They're on different computers. They're on thumb drives that I've lost all over the place. So this is a really good analogy too. David says, when you have a swipe file, you don't need the manual. That's a really, really cool way of putting that, because let's say you want to build a sales page and let's say you want to do a free plus shipping book offer. So you have this new book, you want to give it away for free, but then you charge shipping and handling so you can get the person's credit card on file, and instead of them being a visitor, they're now a customer. And you do that, but then on the next page, you can offer them other things that supplement the book. So let's say that's a really successful business model that experts are using to make a lot of money with. Well, instead of just trying to come up with and read manuals and try to come up with how to build a book funnel, find the best book funnels out there and screenshot their pages and just try to build one that looks similar, but don't copy the words, obviously, but build one that's similar, but just make yours better and cooler looking. That's like the best idea of a swipe file. So yeah, thank you for mentioning that, David. All right, so let's go over to my screen because what I want to share with you is going to be some really cool places that you can go to for swipe files. So I put in links here for you. So again, just if you want, go to Alphapreneur, go into the community, go to coaching, go to Monday meetings, go to meeting number 8, which is the meeting that we're on right now, top trends, startup ideas, and swipe files. Scroll down, and then you're going to see resources mentioned. I'm highlighting it right now. So we just talked about Twitter startup ideas. Now I'm going to open up a couple pages here for you. So we'll actually do one at a time. So the first one is called Swipe Page. So we're going to click on that, and it's going to take you to this right here. Now, these are really, really cool places. Now, all of these are, well, all but one, they're paid services. So it's really up to you, like how much you want to invest in building a swipe file. You could go out there and try to find things on your own that you think are successful, but there are people out there that pretty much do all the legwork for you, and then they charge a fee for you to get access to all of their swipe files. So anyway, there's a bunch of different places out there that do this, and I tried to do this in the past, and my idea was I wanted to create a community kind of like Alphapreneur, but everybody, I not only share my swipe files, but other people share their swipe files as well. And I started that community. I called it Swipe Vault. And it looks like Mary Kay Allen here says, I was in your Swipe Vault program. So she knows exactly what I'm talking about. So I created this, and then I started uploading my swipe files from, like I mentioned earlier, for like Luke says, I would buy you a bottle of whiskey for your swipe files. So I had them in Dropbox and scattered all over the place. But Swipe Vault, it was a community where I was uploading my swipe files every day, and I wanted other people to upload their swipe files too. But nobody else was doing it. I was the only one doing it. I'm like, man, I don't want, I feel it didn't turn out to be what I wanted it to be. So I kind of looked at that as like a failed business, because my idea for the business ended up not turning out to be what I wanted it to be. So I could have just kept making them, uploading my own swipe files, but that's not what I visioned. So I just shut the whole thing down. It's not available anymore, Arlo. Okay, so so if you go here, so there are some places that have pulled this off very successfully. So I'm going to walk you through my favorite ones. And again, you can find these by going into, Glenn says, just subscribe to the Twitter Startup Ideas. It's a novel way of generating a list. Yes, that alone is a swipe. So seeing how that guy that did the Twitter Startup Ideas, like Wyatt Cavalier, I think was his name, how he did that, he created a free newsletter to get people's email address to deliver a really good curated list of things every day. So think about, how could you do that? How could you create a newsletter? This is a great example of a swipe. How could you create a free newsletter where you're curating something every day and building an email list where people are anxiously waiting for your email the next day? So yeah, I'm glad you mentioned that, Glenn, because that is truly helpful. No, Arlo, I did not make these websites that you're about to see. So, okay, so the first one here is called Swipe Page. So what they do is they swipe the best. This is specifically for SaaS companies, but think about what I mentioned earlier, where you take ideas from like different industries and different trends and apply those to your business. So even though you don't have a SaaS company, and if you don't know what a SaaS company is, Steve, you're beating me to the punch. Hang on a second. I'm not even going to show Steve's comment up on the screen because he already figured out where I'm going with this. But anyway, with SaaS companies, if you don't know what a SaaS company is, it's software as a service. So here, what they're doing is that they are going out and finding like all of these really successful software service companies, and they're breaking down. Let me just scroll down, see if we can just get to some examples here. So they have it organized in a spreadsheet, which I think is kind of not the best way to do stuff, but it's how they're doing it. So if you want to see like home pages or landing pages or ads or anything like that, they're finding like all the top software as a service companies and then screenshotting all the stuff that they're doing and then putting them into a spreadsheet that is searchable, where you can go out there and see what some of the top landing pages are, what are some of the top emails that they're sending out, what are some of the top ads that they're sending out. And you can see this right here is $187 to get access to this service. So this right here, $187. Ted says, I was in Swipe Vault too. By the way, for all of you that did get in Swipe Vault when I had that, did you like the idea of the concept? If you did, just say, just say yes or no, just so I know. So this is Swipe Page, which again, you can find these in Alphapreneur. Go to Monday meetings and you can see Swipe Page. The next one is going to be swipefiles.co. So let's click on that. So swipefiles.co, what this is a place where it's a curated library of marketing and copywriting examples. And what they do it's a little different than everyone else, is they do a detailed teardown of what makes them great. So not only are you seeing like, oh, here's a nice landing page that sells this, or here's a nice book funnel, or here's a nice newsletter opt-in page where you collect email addresses. They don't just show you that to look at, but then they have a teardown and explain what's good about what they're sharing. So if we go through here, you can see the what, the why, and the how. What they're doing is detailed teardowns of practical marketing examples, and you can stop reinventing the wheel and subscribe to see the latest teardowns in your inbox. So you come down and you can get an idea, like for free, you can see what one of their swipe files are. So this one looks like it's a part-time YouTuber Academy's landing page. It leverages lengthy copywriting. So if we click on this to view it, they're showing you what the sales page looks like. So they screenshotted the sales page, and then they included the screenshot here so you can just kind of look at the screenshot. And then let's get all the way to the bottom here. It's a very long page. So here's where they go down into talking about, like, here's what they focus on. What would a course on YouTube be without a video intro? So they're talking about having a video intro. Then they break down all the sections. So they talk about, okay, well, here's where he talks about a story. Here's how you could maybe talk about a story for your page. Here's how he's using charts. Here's how you could possibly use charts in your sales page. So anyway, it's pretty interesting. It probably takes them a whole ton of time to do this, but this is what makes their business pretty cool. And the only people that are really interested in this are people that are just really geek out and nerd out on this kind of stuff, on like marketing and seeing what's working for other people, and then how, and getting ideas on how you can apply it to your business. But I'll tell you right now, some of the most successful entrepreneurs that I know, this is what they obsess over. They obsess over like 2-3 main things: reading books, looking at trends, always being ahead of what everyone else is learning and trying to find out what's trending so you can jump on a trend, and having like their own swipe files, their own personal collection of swipe files. Those are like the 3 main things that all successful entrepreneurs, when I say successful, like they're making over 10 million a year, that's what they all have in common that I know personally. So that's why I want to share this stuff with you, just to share like how beneficial this kind of stuff is. So that's swipefiles.co. And let's go. So we're just looking at that one about the YouTube teardown, but you come down, you can get on their email newsletter as well. And they have 3,100 marketers and entrepreneurs that subscribe, so they say. So you can put in the email, and like if you just saw how you could get on the email newsletter to learn about Twitter startup ideas, you can get on their newsletter here to learn about swipe files. Are you finding out that like noticing everyone is having newsletters all of a sudden? I think that's pretty interesting. So they do again, teardowns on all kinds of things, web pages, emails, different ads that are out there. They talk about ads, just really clean, cool site. And you can see they charge $99 a year for that. So that is, where are we at? That is swipefiles.co. The next one that I want to share with you is called swipefilesingular.com. So swipefile.com, you can see here that it's not as sexy as the other things that I showed you, but you don't have to pay for any of this. You don't have to subscribe. You could put in your email address and subscribe and then get notifications whenever they come out with new swipe files, but it's not like required. So here you can actually come in and say like, I'm going to write some new emails, and you don't really know where to start with your email copy. So you could come to swipefile.com and click on emails, and there's an ad. We're going to click out of the ad. That's how they make their money, it looks like. So not charging you money, but actually running ads everywhere. So you can see here's a bunch of emails. So they're getting emails from like 1-800-CONTACTS, WP Beginner, Forever 21, Stanford. And so they've got emails that when they're coming into their inbox, they're saving the whole email, and it looks like they're sprinkling ads here in the middle, which is, again, how they make their money. So you can come through and like click on an email. Actually, There we go. So you could click on an email. So here's Yost's Black Friday reminder email. So let's say Black Friday is coming up and you want to do a Black Friday promotion. You can look here and just get some ideas of some Black Friday promo emails that you would not have ever have found any other way unless you were on the email list of Yoast. So the way these people that run these sites, these swipe file sites, they're pretty much subscribed to absolutely anything and everything that is like a big player in all major industries. And they're just saving and archiving everything. They're almost like hoarders of swipe files. So they're hoarding swipe files, but then they put them in an organized database for you to go and look at. I think you might be able to search too. So let's try this. So let's try to search. I haven't tried this, but let's try Black Friday. And then here we go. So you can see all kind, like instantly, you could see Huckberry. They have a Black Friday sweepstakes. The San Francisco 49ers have a Black Friday email. Black Friday and Cyber Monday sales graph. Canvas Canvas Pop has Black Friday email. So tons and tons and tons of Black Friday emails and ads and Instagram posts and things that you can be able to use if you wanted to run a Black Friday deal on what it is that you do. Let's do book. Let's just type in book. Book funnel. Oh, nothing on book funnel. What if I do free? I was trying to see if they had like free plus shipping stuff, free trial. So maybe if you want to do a free trial for something, you can see Netflix's free trial pricing, how they structure that. You can see Figma's free trial thing. You can see all these different pricing pages where people offer free trials, which again is just really cool because, I mean, yeah, you could have went to Netflix because you thought like, oh, maybe Netflix has free trial pricing and you want to offer a free trial and you want to go see how they do it. That's one way to do it. Or you subscribe to these swipe file places and you could just type in free trial and see all of the different things that they have saved and archived that is all about free trials. Is this pretty cool so far? If this is pretty cool, just let me know on like a 1 to 10 scale because I see the chat kind of died down a little bit. We have just a couple personal conversations going on in the live chat, but I just want to make sure that I'm not putting any of you to sleep because this is the stuff that like keeps me up at night. And this is the stuff that I really, really personally like. And this is where I get all my new ideas on things that I do to run tests and new ideas on how I can make Alphapreneur a better world for all of you. This is how I come up with these ideas. So I just wanted to share some of these resources with you. So that is swipefile.com. Then the last one I want to show you here is going to be swiped.co. So this is free, and this is my favorite out of all of them. And again, you can just go to Alphapreneur, go to coaching, go to Monday meetings, and then go to resources mentioned to just get like one-click access to these. Let me take a look at the chat because I see the chat just lit up on fire when I asked you to put in something. So it looks like Gary says 10, Jamie says 10. Good. I'm glad you guys are all liking it because this is what really gets me excited. And I like to pass my excitement and the things that have taken me 21 years to find out. I like to share it all with all of you. Hustle says great stuff. Very interesting and much appreciated. Margaret says, could I pick up some copywriting ideas? Yes, Margaret. What I'm going to show you right now is the best source you can go to for copywriting. So that, again, you go to Alphapreneur, go to coaching, go to Monday meetings, Margaret, and go to resources mentioned under session 8. Sorry, if you see me like scratching all the time, like trying to grow a beard and facial hair is like the most grueling thing I've ever been through. Like my face is always itchy. Sometimes it hurts and it looks horrible right now, like on my cheeks and everything. But I just want to keep growing it out just to see if like I can grow a beard or not. I think it'd be cool to like grow a beard in the winter. And I don't know. I don't know if I like the gray going on down here, but we'll see. Anyway, I just apologize if I'm constantly scratching and then you hear like scratching going through the microphone because I don't know if the microphone's picking it up or not. Okay, so swiped.co. This is the one you would want to go to, Margaret, and anyone else that would be interested in anything related to copywriting. Thank you, Frank, for saying 10. Thank you, Magnus, for saying fantastic, cool. Thank you, David, for saying loving it. Good. So here you can just simply go to swiped.co, and then from swiped.co, Margaret, this is where they break down a lot of copywriting, and you can see they have 317 modern, which is mid-90s to current copywriting pieces. They also have 201 classic, which are early 90s and older copywriting pieces. So here, what you can do is, I would not necessarily, well, you could go into niches. They have so many niches here, but let's just go ahead and say you're in beauty. You could click on beauty and then don't filter anything else. Just click on beauty. And these are going to be very, 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 very old copywriting examples of things that were ran in like magazines back in like the 1940s, 1960s, 1970s. And what's really cool about this is that if you read some of the names on here, like a Sweden's Miracle Formula ad by Eugene Schwartz, New Miracle Drug ad by Eugene Schwartz, Facelift in a Jar ad by Gary Halbert, Dove Darling ad by David Ogilvy, Beverly Hills Formula ad by Gary Halbert. If any of you ever try to study copywriting or you're looking into copywriting, you've probably have heard these names of these people before, because they are legends in copywriting. Legends to the tune of they've sold hundreds of millions, if not billions with a B, dollars worth of products through their ads like this that they ran in books and magazines, not books, but magazines and newspapers way back in the day. So instead of like reading books about these people and hearing their stories, what you can do on this swipe file place is actually find the ads that these people have actually created that made hundreds of millions of dollars. And then let's say you're in the beauty space and you're trying to do something that is about anti-aging. Well, here, Facelift in a Jar, we could click on this, and this is the full ad in like super high resolution, where it's the amazing facelift in a jar used by Hollywood stars who lose their jobs if they don't look their best. So this is stuff you can use for ideas if you're in the anti-aging space. Like just the way these words are put on here, when you're spending upwards of $100,000 or more to run an ad like this in a popular newspaper or a magazine, you better believe every single word on this page counts. It's not like running Facebook ads or Google ads where you could just throw it up and in like a couple minutes change your mind and take it down and run something else. Like these people have to spend like 6 months plus preparing their ad to then run their ad in a magazine or in a newspaper. So every word on here is so powerful. I really, really, really recommend every entrepreneur really get addicted to wanting to find old school ads that you could then bring words that are being used back then into the modern era and use the words that they're using back then into your Facebook ads and into your videos that you're doing on YouTube, into Google ads, just things that that worked back then that people just are not doing now. So this is the kind of stuff that, like $1 Million Smile ad. If you were, doing something about teeth whitening, it's like, have you ever wondered what you would look like with $1 million smile? And they go in to talk about that. I mean, it's just unbelievable that like this, all these words right here, that's what sold tens of millions of dollars of a product. And then what's really good about this site, the swiped.co, is that the key takeaways at the very bottom, they really kind of just break it down and kind of talk about the things that the biggest benefits about this that you can then bring into your copy in your industry on what it is that you do. So I showed you could just look at niches, but you can also look at different types of copy. Now, the copy I'm talking about that's very long form, where people have sold tens of millions, hundreds of millions of dollars to sell like a $20 product, those type of ads are usually called advertorials. So you could click on advertorial and you can see, because what they instead of a, I forgot what torial stands for in editorial. So in a newspaper, like how a newspaper, there's like all the editorial columns and everything. An advertorial looks like it's part of the newspaper. Like when you're flipping back in the old days, you're like flipping through the newspaper and going through the sections, and you get to a section like this, like the tooth doctor. This looks like it could be an actual editorial column, but it's not. It's an ad. So it's just really, really fascinating to go down this rabbit hole of all these different types of ads that are advertorials that are just incredible. I was trying to find something here. Let me type in, I want to give you an example. let's type in VW. Dang it. VW Beetle ad. Well, I came across this ad. I thought it was on here, but maybe it wasn't. To give you a real life example is if you went to google.com/images and typed in VW Beetle ad. So this ad pretty much just pretty much made history for Volkswagen. And it was David Ogilvy's company, Ogilvy and Mather, that came up with these ads. But basically it was just all like this all white, very empty. Imagine like you're spending 70 grand to run this for one page in like the Wall Street Journal, to have like a one page ad in the Wall Street Journal on a Sunday. And you have all this space where you could have words, but you don't have words. You just have like a picture of the product. And then below that, you have one word that just says never, and then a little bit of supplemental information about it. And that's all that ad is. And then what they did was they had other ads that were the same thing, where again, it's just all blank space, just the picture of the Beetle and then some words. And man, I want to see if I could find what I wanted to show you. Cause I just came up with this. I didn't plan on sharing this with you. But let me see if I can find it really quick. I'm trying to find an image of something that I've created. If I could find some music to play for you right now, I would, but if it's going to take too long, I'm not going to show you because I don't want to waste your time. Let's do ad. Sorry, I'm looking on my computer. I'm looking on off screen trying to find an ad that's on my computer that I wrote or that I created. I can't find it. But anyway, it's well, shoot. Let me try one more thing. No, can't find it. But anyway, what it was I ran a Facebook ad because I had I still do. I just haven't bought any more of it. But one of my companies is this energy drink called Evil Energy that I started. And they're these individual drink packs, powder packs that you can put into like bottled water and things like that to turn into an energy drink. So when I was trying to come up with like what type of ads should I run on Facebook, I ended up using the idea of what Volkswagen did, where it was a lot of empty space, just had a picture of the product, then had like a really interesting headline below it, and then just a little bit of supplemental copy. And that ad killed it on Facebook. And it's not the only way I would have found that is the only way I would have came up with that ad is if I was addicted to looking at swipe files of ads that worked like way back in the day, which was what I'm showing you right now. And which is why I wanted to tell that story is because that's why swipe files are so important, that you should be, doing this for everything. I really want to find this ad. Hang on. I'm going to look one more place and see if I can find it. Is this helpful so far, by the way? If it is, I haven't looked in the chat for a second. If this is helpful, just on a 1 to 10 scale, let me know what you think of all this. And I would love to get some feedback. Because again, I really, really, really geek out on this stuff. And I'm always worried that it's not interesting to anybody else. Okay, I found one ad, and I moved it around a little bit. So instead of the Volkswagen ad that was like a lot of empty space, and then the title was at the bottom, I actually did this. So my ad at the very top, it said "tired, not anymore." Then it had just the logo. And then at the very bottom, which you can't see because it's here, let me zoom in. So at the very bottom, it just says what it is. So Evil Energy is the world's first energy drink with 300 milligrams of caffeine. You can use to turn any drink into an energy drink that'll give you hours of energy and alertness without sugars, jitters, headaches, or crash. And then I had the logo and just the title. And that ad just destroyed it on Facebook. And then again, I got that from just using different versions of that VW format, and it worked really, 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 really well. So, okay, I'm looking at the chat really quick. So Hans said you shared some very, very valuable rabbit holes. Yeah, these rabbit holes are never ending. I've been going down these rabbit holes for 21 years, and I still have nowhere close to finding the end of them. So I want you to join me. Joseph says 10. Magnus says I'm keen to know more. Gary says alpha candy. I like that. Lauren says great information. 10 plus. Yes, 10. Keep looking. David 10 plus plus. Awesome. So cool. Anyway, that's what I want to share with you regarding swipe files. Were all of those resources. I could spend hours going through each of those resources, but just to keep this respect of all of your time, just go into Alphapreneur, go to coaching, go to Monday meetings, and then scroll down to where you see Monday meeting number 8, which is this Monday meeting. Click on it, and then come down to where you can see resources mentioned, and then you can find the resources that I just mentioned. Liz says, great tips, Chris. Thank you so much. Jamie says, rabbit hole swipes. So anyway, something that I believe it was David Alexander mentioned this earlier about, he said it in the chat, but I lost where it was in the chat. But he said something about, like, I smell or I see a swipe file section coming inside of Alphapreneur, and guess what? I want to put that in there too. I'm not going to do it this week because this week I want to introduce the trends section to Alphapreneur. So I'm going to put right between home and resources. Tomorrow I'm going to be introducing a trends section, which is going to have the first trend, which is the new writer that I brought on board, Ainsley, that I just mentioned. She's the one that's going to be writing the trend, and it's going to go in there for you. So that is going to be this week. Next week, I planned on putting the swipe file section in there for you. So next week, and by the way, the trends, you're always going to get one. I planned on, and I told her at first, let's just do like one trend every Tuesday. So like we call it like Tuesday trends or Trend Tuesday. So every Tuesday a new trend's going to be added. But she's like, well, why don't we do like Tuesday and Thursday? I'm like, well, I don't want to push you too hard because you're in school and I want you to do good in school. I don't want you to dedicate all your time to just doing trend reports for Alphapreneur. So we're going to start with just Tuesdays for sure, tomorrow being the first one. So every week you're going to get a new really deep dive trend report for new trends that are just surfacing all over the internet that you're going to be able to apply and get ideas from that you can use for your business. Then the following week, I'm going to introduce swipes. I'm just going to call them swipes. So instead of going and signing up to all these different services out there, I'm just going to include a section in Alphapreneur for you, and I'm just going to start putting the best swipes that I know that are extremely powerful, not just filling it with just a bunch of filler, but really taking great swipes and just sharing them with you. I'm not going to do teardowns of the swipes or anything like that. Initially, I'm just going to start by putting them in there so everything is searchable. So like how I was showing you, you could go to swiped.co and you could search like whatever VW Beetle ad, or you could do free trial. And from free trial, you can see all the different free trial stuff that's running. The fact that Alphapreneur is built in a way where at the top you can just type in whatever you want. You could type in free trial. When I start loading a bunch of swipes in here starting next week, you can type in free trial, and part of the search results is going to pull in swipes you're going to see that are related to free trials. So what do you all think of that? So this week you're going to get trends being added to Alphapreneur. Next week you're going to be getting swipes added to Alphapreneur, and each one of those sections are going to get new content every week. So that was kind of the big reveal that I wanted to share with you. And let me see real quick while I'm here. I'm going to see if I can show you the first, just to kind of give you a taste for what's coming. Let me show you the first swipe that I plan on loading in here for you. One sec. So the first one is going to be I'm trying to find it. The first one that I'm going to load in here next week is called Historical Business Ads. Now, if you look really close on how many pages this PDF is, this is like 0.0001% of my personal swipe file collection. And this one PDF alone is 426 pages. That is 426 swipe files of only business ads. So ads that people have ran in magazines and all the stuff that I'm showing you that are only about building, like starting a business or growing your business, because I know a lot of you are probably in the business world where a lot of these could be super, super, super helpful for you. So 426 ads are going to be in here just to kick off the unveiling of the swipe section inside of Alphapreneur. Now, when I say 426 ads, and these are just getting added for you inside of Alphapreneur, and everything's going to be searchable, if you go and take a look at, what was it? Swipefiles.co. Trying to think. So for $99 a year, you can get 100 plus teardowns. They only have about 110 right now. Swipe files in there. And the first one that I showed you, which was Swipe Page, if we scroll down, they have 200 swipes for $187. Or you can get 200 swipes and some first impression videos for 200. So basically hundreds of dollars is what people are charging for like 100 swipes, 100-ish, call 200 max. And just for me launching the swipe section inside of Alphapreneur for all of you, you're getting 426 ads just right out of the gate. And these are all advertorial ads, which now you know why, like you should know why like advertorial ads are really, really beneficial for all the reasons I mentioned earlier. It's just super, super powerful. So Steve says, thanks for all you do, Chris. You're very, very welcome, Steve. Thank you so much for that comment. And Steve says, we can get a swipe file for that restaurant delivery. Don't throw eggs at my store during a pandemic. That's really good. And here's the thing. Whenever I do introduce this whole section for you in Alphapreneur called swipes, it's not just going to be me uploading swipes. I'm going to make it just like how I visioned my community years ago called Swipe Vault to be, where other people could upload their own swipes too. I'm not going to restrict it to where it's only me on a soapbox just sharing my swipes. I'm going to make it where you can get in here and upload swipes too if you'd like, but you just have to follow the guidelines that I'm going to give you on that section. I'm going to make a little video showing you where, hey, if you want to add swipes, here's the format to use to add them, because then it's going to be beneficial for everyone to be able to see the swipes and then be able to search and find what it is that they're looking for. So you're just not uploading just a bunch of random images and files and nothing is searchable. So yeah, so I'm going to be adding all of that for you next week. And this week is going to be the trends section that is going to be tomorrow that I'm going to be tossing in there. So let's move on to, just before we close things out here, live Q&A. Glenn, I like that. Swipepreneur. That's actually a good, that'd be a good domain name. So if anyone has any questions, now would be the time to ask them. So just go ahead, and if you have a question, the live chat is now open for questions, and I'll just answer some questions until we don't have any questions, and then we will call it a day. And the rest of my day is I got to wrap things up here at the office and then go back and put Christmas lights up on the house. So my kids have been really on me I was supposed to do it this weekend, but this weekend kind of got away from us, and it was cold and windy, and it rained a little bit, and I don't want to put Christmas lights up during all of that. Okay, so let's take a look here at the questions. So the first question comes in from my buddy Luke from the UK. Says, thinking of starting a daily newsletter. Have you ever heard of raising funds and assessing market feasibility by pitching on Kickstarter or an alternative? Can you think of any negatives? I have not heard of anything remotely like that for a daily. If that's, let me know, Luke, are you wanting to start a daily newsletter about raising funds and assessing market feasibility? Or did you have kind of a different spin on that question? Or are you wanting to use Kickstarter to launch your daily newsletter? If you're wanting to use Kickstarter to launch your daily newsletter, don't do that. I know some people have tried. That's not the place to launch a daily newsletter. What you could do is launch your newsletter on a place called Product Hunt. Let me go ahead and share my screen. So you can go to producthunt.com. So here you can simply just post that you have a new product that's being released and talk about what type of newsletter it is. And if you would like to use some swipe skills, start by typing in newsletter. And you're going to see all of the newsletters that have been on here already. And you can see how many upvotes that these newsletters got. So if you want to get an idea, again, this is where you need to put on like your Swipepreneur, your Swipepreneur pirate hat, and type in newsletter, and then just start looking at the best ones that have been on Product Hunt that people release, where they have a ton of comments, they have a ton of upvotes. That means the world like voted and said, that's a great idea for a newsletter. Then you can go ahead and use that for some ideas of what you can do for a newsletter, or structuring it, or even how you want to launch it. So for this one, like newsletter stack, if we click on it, you can see it's looks like this guy did a 1-minute video. It looks like he's explaining newsletter stack. You can go to the website, newsletter stack, but then it was featured 5 months ago, and he says you can discover newsletters on 56 topics. So he's describing what it is. Pretty much just has a video just where he shared a screen and just talked about it. So that's how you can like launch your newsletter on a place like Product Hunt and really get a lot of good initial traction. And there's a lot of decent newsletters on here that I know of just by looking at that I know are good newsletters, and they were launched solely using Product Hunt. Liz says Product Hunt sounds cool. We'll be looking at that one. Yes, Product Hunt is a great thing. Renee, are you new here? I don't recognize your name. If you're new, let me know if you're new, and then let me know what you thought of the Monday meeting. David says, that's awesome, Chris. I'm ready to add some swipes that I've collected over the years. Awesome. That's what I'm excited about, is inside of Alphapreneur to actually have the swipe section added. And then once I'm going to add a really nice collection of my own swipes. And then once they're added and they're there, I'm going to record a video and then put a video on the swipes section where I'm going to show you the process of first even collecting, like doing swipes. If you've never like screenshotted a web page before, there's a really specific way to do it. I'm going to show you what tools I use. I use Chrome extensions to download everything for free. And then I'm going to show you how to download all that stuff, how to name your files, how to upload them. And it's just going to really help the community. And I'm also wanting to start introducing, doing some contests where, for the swipe section, like every week, the person that uploaded the most swipes following the format is going to get a prize, and like things like that to kind of spark some creativity and just really add some fuel and gasoline on the fire going on inside of Alphapreneur. So keep an eye out for all of that. Luke says, cheers for that. You're very welcome. Sid says, interesting stuff. Gotta go. Thanks. You're welcome, Sid. Thank you for being here. Dennis said swipe would be a killer feature of Alphapreneur. Awesome. I'm really excited that you're excited about that. Not only the swipes, but the combination of swipes and trends are going to be really, really good features of Alphapreneur. So I don't think, okay, looks like Margaret just had a question. Any final questions, type them now, because after I answer the last couple questions, we're going to call it a day, because we're coming up on about an hour and a half. Margaret says, I'm now doing copywriting for B2B corporate training industry using my tutor experience. I assume I can use these swipe files and alter. Yes, 1000%. I would use them as inspiration on how you would, like headline ideas, content structure, paragraph structure, section structure. I would do all of that and then use that as examples of what you could do for the copywriting for B2B corporate training. But great industry to do that in. Steve says, will you categorize the swipes by topic? Yes. So what I'll do, Steve, is when you go into, let's, for instance, like go into resources. So when you click on resources and you see how it's like analytics, cold outreach, and all that, I'm going to see if I can do it this way and have the topics this way. And if I can't, we're going to have to use a naming structure where we'll do like hashtag Facebook ad, and then the title of the Facebook ad, and it'll just be a long list of swipes people have added. But then what you can do is the reason that's why I have to figure out the best way to format it. And then once I figure that out, I'm going to make it to where when I upload swipes and anyone else uploads swipes, they're going to be really easy to go you could go in the search bar and you could type in like hashtag Facebook ads. And then the only thing you're going to see is going to be like Facebook ad stuff. Right now, you're just seeing a lot of comments on Gary's Facebook ad rejection post he did, which that was a killer post that you did, Gary. So thanks for sharing that. But anyway, I'll come up with a really good strategy. Don't worry. It's going to be clean and simple and like easy to use and navigate, just like everything else in Alphapreneur. So I will make sure it is going to be the best. Luke says, on the swipes, will there be any assessment of income related to that swipe? Not unless you can find it. It's almost impossible to find income related to the swipes that you go out there and collect and swipe yourself. So probably not. It's mostly like swiping things you know are successful. So if you know, for instance, let's say newsletters, like all these newsletters. Let's take a look at this one right here. I'll show you a good example of like how I would collect a swipe, and then how I'm going to swipe something and then put that in Alphapreneur. So I would go to Newsletter Stack because I see it's the number one product on Product Hunt. And then I would click on Newsletter Stack. And then here I would just see what this page is. And I see that it says explore the largest curated collection of newsletters on the web. Now what I've got this little browser tool that I've added that's in Chrome called Go Full Page. It's all one word, called Go Full Page. So here I'm just going to pin it so you can see it. So it puts this little icon in your Chrome browser that looks like a camera. So when I'm on this page, what I'll do is I will click that camera icon, and it's scrolling down the page and literally saving the whole page as like one screenshot. And if it's a super long page, it's going to be more than one screenshot. It'll save it as a PDF or 2 images. So this one, it's like one super long image, then just a little bit of an image there. Well, what we can do here, we can just download this as a PDF. So now, this is all free, by the way. So I just downloaded it as a PDF. So if I minimize everything on my computer here, you can also see my computer background. Oh, you can't see so there's a file on my desktop. I have it where you can't see my desktop files, but I don't have any files on my desktop anyway to show you. But if I did, for whatever reason, the software I use is not showing you my files, but it just downloaded a PDF on my desktop. And now that PDF is an 11-page PDF that is a screenshot of that page. Okay. So what I would do, I would save this PDF, and then I would go create a new post in Alphapreneur and call it like hashtag newsletter, curated newsletter homepage, number one product on Product Hunt, or something like that. So just really descriptive. And then when you click on it, I'm actually going to have Alphapreneur set up to where you can, when you go to upload a PDF, it embeds the PDF within Alphapreneur. So you don't ever have to download anything. You can just browse everything freely inside of Alphapreneur using PDF viewers, and it's kind of geeky on how it all works. But anyway, that's how you would do. That's how I mostly screenshot things. That's how I capture swipe files, is to be able to use that browser extension where you can just screenshot a page. So let's do a smaller one. There's a really good newsletter called Morning Brew. So you can see here, this is all the page is. It's just like this, this phone on the right-hand side, logo, title, description, email box, and try it. That's a great layout for a newsletter. So I would just screenshot the page, and I just got the whole page like instantly. So now I can download it as a PDF, or since it's one image, I could just download it as an image. And then I just save this whole page as an image. Then I would go in Alphapreneur and then upload the image and say like hashtag newsletter, very simple, minimal newsletter opt-in page from Morning Brew, something like that. It would be descriptive as a title in Alphapreneur. So if you're ever typing in like Morning Brew, you're typing in newsletter, you type in opt-in page, you're going to see this swipe file show up in the search results in Alphapreneur. So was that helpful, Luke? If it was, just let me know. Sorry, let me go back to the chats here. Magnus, Monday meetings are gold. I'm glad you enjoy it, Magnus. I really, really look forward to these meetings because especially I'm just now sharing all of the really cool stuff that I've been doing quietly for 21 years in my cave that I get to poke my head. Well, I'm not poking my head out of my cave. I'm just letting you all in my cave, and I'm just sharing all the things that I do for my businesses that really help all you out. Jamie says, never heard of this. Super clever and amazing. Awesome. I'm glad you like it. Luke, thank you for finding that. Luke says Morning Brew makes $13 million annually. So not too bad for a free newsletter. Luke says, yep, that was helpful. Thanks. You're welcome. And Liz says, new tool for me too. Yeah. Let me find that. Let me show you where to get that tool. Oh, I just screen captured it again. Oops. So the name of that tool was called Go Full Page. So if you all want to put that on your browser, just go to Google and type in like Chrome extensions and then go to the Chrome extension store on Google. And then from here, you would just type in Go Full Page. It's like the worst name. Yeah, Go Full Page screen capture. So there's like 47,000 5-star reviews and it's a free tool. So you just install this on your Chrome browser. Then you'll have this little icon here that you can click on and then just screenshot anything. But here's the deal. Like I've got about 20,000 screenshots of things that I've saved over the years on my Dropbox that are on my own little personal collection of swipe files that are not searchable. Because when you're uploading images to Dropbox, I don't name them a certain way. They're so random. So I'm just for my own little benefit, adding this section in the swipe section inside of Alphapreneur is allowing me to get all of my thousands and tens of thousands of swipes that I have and that I've collected over, decades and put them all into Alphapreneur and have them in here in a way of categorization that is going to be easy for all of you to be able to benefit from, as well as myself when I need to go look up some swipes. This is where I can find them. So quote says, damn right. Awesome. So that is everybody. That is Monday meeting number 8 that has now come to an end. So I just want to thank you all so much for being here. This Monday meeting, by the way, was completely different than other Monday meetings I've done. So on a 1 to 10 scale of how you thought this Monday meeting went, just let me know in the chat because I would like to know what you think. So that way I know the format. Pretty much what I did on this Monday meeting that was different than others was I shared some strategies with you of how I go about getting ideas for growing Alphapreneur and ideas of coming up with new ideas for businesses, new angles, new strategies. And I shared all the best resources with you to go do that. But then I also kind of gave you a little heads up that I'm actually going to create 2 new sections in Alphapreneur, a trends section and a swipe section. Trends coming tomorrow, swipes coming next week. And instead of going and signing up to all these services, you're just going to get all those for free with your subscription inside of Alphapreneur. So kind of big news all around, if you ask me. Luke says, I no longer hate Mondays. Me either. Mondays always were awful. And now Mondays are like the best day because I have so much fun. Jamie says 10. Margaret says 100 plus. Adil says 10 plus. Jamie loved Mondays. Lauren loved it. Magnus 10, of course. And 10 plus plus. Mary Kay 10, excellent. Thank you. 10, loved it. 10 plus plus. Thank you. So I'm glad you all really enjoyed it because I really enjoyed putting this together for all of you. So I hope you enjoyed the Monday meeting. I had a lot of fun here. Gary says another excellent meeting, 10 star. So it's something to keep in mind too, if you have not done so already. And make sure you go in your whatever you use for email in a whitelist my email address, which is hello@alphapreneur.com. I'm going to put it in the chat. So if you've not done so already, make sure you whitelist that email address, hello@alphapreneur.com, so you get all of my emails and they go to your inbox rather than going to other tabs or whatever. Because what I'm going to do is when I first release the new trend section tomorrow, I'm going to send out an email and let you know that it's been released and what the trend of this week to launch it, what trend it is. And then also the swipes well, first, anytime I add new trends, I'm going to send out an email to let you know a new trend has been added. But also the swipes, when I turn on that section in Alphapreneur, I'm going to send out an email to let you know that section has been added. And then anytime new swipes have been added that I've added, or I see amazing swipes that all of you have been that are adding, I'm going to curate them into a nice little email, and maybe once a week send out an email that's going to have a list of like the new trend reports that we've added, the new swipe files that we've added, almost like a little summary of the week of things that have been added in Alphapreneur in different sections. I did that really early on when I first started Alphapreneur, but then I noticed people, when I was looking at the stats of those emails, people weren't really opening and clicking on the links in the emails. I don't know why. I think it could have been like my email software or my email provider I was using. So I switched to a different email provider. I was using at the time, well, long story short, I used to use ActiveCampaign forever. Then a friend of mine started a provider and said he could like crush ActiveCampaign's deliverability and everything. And I switched to his provider, which is called SendLane. It cost me way more, but the deliverability wasn't as good. So I went back to ActiveCampaign. But when I was sending out the daily digests and stuff for Alphapreneur, maybe that was it. I was sending out daily, and they were like these long, lengthy digest emails, and I think it was just overwhelming people. So what I'm going to do is when the trend section is turned on and the swipe section's turned on, there's going to be a lot of really cool, new, helpful stuff that's going to be going in Alphapreneur. So I think every Friday, I'm going to send out an email every Friday that's just a summary of like one-click links that will take you to all the cool stuff that's been added inside of Alphapreneur that you could use, that I geek out on, and that all of you are adding to Alphapreneur that I find is just really helpful for everybody. So, yeah, thank you so much. Dennis says, thank you for all the insights. You're very, very welcome. David said, thank you so much, Chris. Best Monday meeting yet. I really do appreciate it. I was nervous about this one because it was just sharing what I think is cool and fun, but I didn't know if it was going to be cool and fun for all of you. Yeah, Luke, like a 5-bullet Friday. So how Tim Ferriss does 5-bullet Fridays, it's just going to be I don't know what I'm going to call it, but it'll just be, I don't know, like an Alphapreneur weekly digest or something simple. And then just let you know all the stuff that's coming. So thank you all so much for being here. Really appreciate it. Thank you for being active and live and fun in the chat. I always really, really do appreciate it. I love to see all of your names, all of your faces. So thank you for taking time out of your day to show up and be here and really support the Monday meetings for Alphapreneur, because I really put a lot of time and research into these to make sure that they go okay for everyone. And I dedicate my whole day to these. So I'm glad you find it all really helpful. So thank you for being here. Keep an eye out for the emails that I'm going to send to you moving forward this week. Whitelist hello at Alphapreneur if you've not done so already. You're very, very welcome, Jamie. Always a pleasure to have you here. Luke says, great stuff. Adil, take care, everyone. Yeah, everybody. Gary said it best. Back to alpha work for me. So back to work, everybody. Have a good day, and I will see you next Monday.